Welcome to another episode of sitting against the wall, contemplating life while doing a hike. 3 movements, 1 warm-up. 2 gentlemen. Let's have a look. For the first movement, I need everybody at home as well. You go sit on your knees. Now, if you have something soft to place underneath your knees, you do that. You can do 2 things with the feet. You can either point your toes all the way back, like Sval's doing, or like Ben, you press your toes into the floor. All honestly, guys, try to do whatever feels good for you on the toes, but also on the foot itself, because it might hurt a tiny bit. Now, in the starting position of what we call a Nordic curl for the quads, we're going to make sure we keep our hips extended by squeezing our glutes throughout. And then we're going to slowly lower the entire body, bending from the knee backwards to whatever spot we still feel in control. And then from there, we're going to squeeze and come back up. Good. You guys keep going. Now, the idea is to, over course of time, try to increase range of motion. Now, even if you have injuries around the knee, this can be a very good exercise to isolate the quad muscles and to increase some control of range of motion. Very nice, Paul. That was a very good rep. And what I do want you to do is, instead of trying to just go lower by getting your butt more down, I want you to keep that line of shoulder to hip to knee. That is most important. That's a priority thing here. Good. We do 5 reps. This is in the warm-up. You guys can rest. And then right after that, we move on to a classic kickback just to get some heart rate work done in this warm-up. And it needs to be very nice and flowy. So we're going to stand. We're going to get our hands on the floor, jump back, jump up, finish the kickback. Jump, jump, stand. Good. Since we have burpee AMRAPs today, combined with marching wall climbs, it's very good to get a couple of kickbacks in. Now let's zoom in at Ben here. We'll show you what to do if you can't jump. So if you can't jump, you walk back and you walk up. You do walk, walk. You know what we call that? We call that the walking kickback. That's what's up. Now, our third movement will be the walking groiner. So what we'll do is this. We're going to kind of set up in a regular plank on long arms, and it kind of looks like the initiation of a mountain climber, but instead we're going to take the right leg and place it next to the right arm. Sit for a second, and then reach back, and then move with the other leg. So you don't want to do this too fast. I just like the pace of the gentleman here. So what they're doing is they're holding that end position for 2 seconds, and they're also holding the plank for a second or 2. Let's take 2 quick seconds or 1 very long second in each position. When the rep range says 10, that means alternating the legs. So eventually you do 5 reps aside of the walking groiner. 6 minutes, quality AMRAP, and then we take the 3 movements we just showed you. So we do 5 reps of that Nordic curl, focus on that line, right? Knee, the hip, the shoulder, keep that line all the way throughout. Then 5 reps of the kickback, and then 10 alternating reps of that groiner, walking groiner variation. Just 6 minutes of that. Right? They're ready. I hope you're ready as well. We're going to start all together in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now again, with this Nordic curl, I want you to go for quality and try to challenge yourself by going as low as you possibly can. And really squeeze your quads, but keep your hips extended by squeezing your butt all the way throughout as well. Guys, function of the glutes, right? They help with extending the hips. And if we start bending the hips, we actually sit our butt down. And that is not the idea of that curl. So you see Sval is having a bigger range of motion than Ben. That is just a difference in level of executing the movement. Very nice. And we go to 5 kickbacks. Jump back, jump up. There we go. And upon completion of the 5th kickback, we start with that groiner, which you can actually do once you're in the bottom of that kickback. And again, you want to hold that end position every time you do it, just for a quick 2 seconds or a long 1 second. So really try to get your heel into the floor. Often when people move that foot forward, you get into the toe, right? You really need to get that heel into the floor. That is nice. Ankle in front of the knee or right underneath the knee would be great. So they're finishing up their round. It's going to take them about 1.5 minutes. I probably think we can do 4 rounds in 6 minutes. So you guys keep going, do another 3, and we'll see you guys back in a second. Okay, so for our second part, we're going to set an interval timer at 9 intervals, 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. In that 40 seconds of work, we're going to have 3 different movements running. So we're going to do 3 loops in total. Swal and Ben are going to start with you right away. So I need you guys to get off the couch. You want to grab a band. You want to loop the band and then place it right around the knees and go lay on your back like they're doing right now. Can you guys show me the static position to start in? So at home as well, I want you to position yourself this way. Ben, you can get your butt down, buddy. It's good. So we want to have our heels in the floor. And we're going to do this one moving for 40 seconds, right? So the idea is this. We're going to press our butts up to the ceiling. And you guys do it for me for 1 rep. And then slowly lower it back down. This is the only movement of this second portion that actually has movement going on. So in 10 seconds, we're going to start off with this one. And we start in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. 40 seconds. Slowly get your butt down, drive into the ceiling, squeeze up. Make sure you keep your belly nice and braced. And make sure the pressure is more into the heel than it is into the toes. The more you go into the toes, the more your quads are going to take over. And I do need your glutes to do as much work as possible. I always like the cue, fold your hips around your belly button to make sure you don't arch the lower back on the way down. Now what they're doing with the knees is they're actively pressing sideways into that band to get them glutes to fire up even more, which is a great way of working those. Now in 5 seconds, we're going to hit 20 seconds to switch. 3, 2, 1. Okay, you guys can get out of the band at home as well. Get rid of the band. Go lay face down. And the idea is to get your arms forward, your legs backward. Everything is going to be nice and squeezed together. You're going to be as long and compact as possible. And then in 5 seconds, we're going to try to attempt doing a 40-second Superman hold. And if we need to take breaks, we will take breaks. Here we go. Good. So when we're doing this, what's always very important is to keep your face pointing down. Instead of keeping your head up and forward, I need your face to be pointing down because that is when your spine is neutral. Right, so that's what we're looking for here. You're squeezing your glutes, you're going to have your feet together. You're going to imagine there's something between your heels and your toes. So you're squeezing there. So you're activating everything that you have in the bottom there. Your arms are going to be forward. You got 15 seconds left and these gentlemen are doing great. I hope at home you're also still in this same Superman hold all the way through. Let's keep it going for 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's break. And now we're going to go into a sumo squat hold in 20 seconds. Now what we'll do is this. Swal will show you the regular sumo squat hold. Ben will show you what to do when you have a knee injury. It's not allowing you to stay in that position with knee flexion all the time. So let's have a look at Swal first. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So he's going to go into a wider than normal squat with the knees still tracking the toes. So he can actually go as wide as he wants to as long as he has the knees over the ankle, right, pressing outwards. And he's in an active position. Although his elbows are on his legs, he's not resting there. He's still sitting actively. And if you pan to Ben here, you can actually see that he has that similar position. But because he's on the floor, his entire upper body is now out of the pressure. So he's not pressing his upper body into the knees. He's only having the position of the legs, which is a great way of still opening up the groin area, working the flexibility there, working that knee out position. And we're done in 3, 2, 1. Rest. 2 more rounds because we do 3 in total. You guys keep going. We take a break. See you back in a second. Okay, so this is my squat. Today is all about marching. We're going to march as a team here. But instead of marching outside, which we can do, we're marching inside. Not standing, but sitting. And we do that in a wall sit. So what I want Ben and Swal to do behind me is when my hands go down, they will go down into a wall sit. So 3, 2, 1. Great. They're in the wall sit. Now the first thing we look at here is hip and knee got to be in line, right? So preferably your foot is right underneath your knee to get as little pressure in the knee as we possibly have. That's good. If you have knee injuries, you can place your feet even more forward if you need to. I do. Good. Now in this position, we're going to have our arms free, so they're not pressing on anything. And we're going to lift up one leg at a time, just a tiny bit. And then we call that marching. Boom. And we're going to make sure we keep the hips in line. So keep pressing into the wall. And this is our marching wall sit. Let's break. Good. Now, what Ben did in the beginning was he changed his position. He went a bit higher. He went a bit more forward with the feet. Maybe he can show it again. He's changing the positions of the wall sit. So you can go a bit higher, change the feet a bit more forward. This is not scaling the level, ladies and gentlemen. This is just going away from injury options, okay? Good. You're still doing that wall sit there. Now, if the marching itself is very difficult, I first want you to stay in a deep wall sit and then just ditch the marching itself. Now, we're going to move to our regular spots because we're going to get some burpees in. Our second movement in this format here. Ben and Sval, guys, give me 3 reps of a burpee here. And right away, I want you to look at different styles here. Ben is walking everything. Sval is jumping everything. And yes, Sval is a bit faster here. Ben is conserving his energy a bit more. That is all good. Now what Ben is going to do right after, and if you looked at the two, what they both had in common is they had chest and thighs touching the floor on every repetition that they did, right? Yeah, they did. And in the air, they were both in the air with air underneath their feet and the hands up in the air. Now if you cannot jump at home because of the floor and the people living below you, then I just don't want you to do that finish nice and high, and I just want you to step everything like Ben did. If you have an injury that's not allowing you to jump, I also want you to go for the stepping variations of the burpee. If you have a pressing related injury, so you can't do that push-up portion because it hurts, then I want you to do a kickback variation like Ben is doing right now. So you jump, you come up. You're still jumping here, right? But it just doesn't press all the way. If you have everything injured, so you can jump and you can press, then you're... So it is time to start on the workout. Now the format is very simple. We have 5 rounds. Every round has 2 minutes of work and 1 minute of rest. Let's talk about that 2 minutes of work. In that 2-minute time frame, you have to accumulate a minute of marching and wall sit. That means if you take a break, you still have to do the entire minute before moving on to the second movement. That second movement is going to be the burpee. How many you do? As many as you can with the remainder of the 2-minute time frame. Okay, your score will be the amount of burpees you do today. Okay, the total amount of burpees you do over the course of 5 rounds. It's going to be a hell lot of fun. So I'm going to have Ben and Sval pointing at a different person, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to have them both ready. We're going to start off with this one. You guys are good? All right, nice. So 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, sit and march. Let's go. So 1 minute of marching in wall sit. The idea is to stay in a parallel squat throughout this movement. Parallel squat, that's it, guys. And now if you take a break, that is all good, but then I need you to peek at the clock because we need accumulation of a minute here. This is great. We're 20 seconds down. Ouch. Very nice. That was 30 seconds. So maybe in the last round, the 5th one, you don't even do a burpee at all. Then it's a wall sit workout for you. So Sval is going to attempt to do this unbroken. Ben just took a nice and quick break here. 45 seconds down, Sval. You got 10 more seconds left, I know that. And then I need you to go right into burpees, and Ben is going to finish this off. Sval, you're done in 2, 1. Right now, that's good. So Ben is shaking off one more time. That is all part of the workout here. Let's go, Ben. And then after that, it is just plain burpees for the remainder of the time. So it's good to see the difference here that Sval is going to do a minute of burpees and Ben is going to do approximately 40 seconds of burpees. He's shaking off the legs. And they both need to realize that after this minute, they do have a full minute of rest ahead of them, okay? And then maybe, I know it sounds weird, but now you know how that wall sit feels. It might be that you actually get better at it because you know how long you can go through and you understand the duration a bit more and how much your legs can suffer before stopping. And realize that there are also people doing 10 to 15 minutes of wall sits. I can't imagine, but it is actually true. 10 more seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going. Let's get a couple more reps in here. Let's go. Keep meeting the standard. Keep jumping up. 3, 2, 1. You guys can break for a minute. So they're resting for a minute. They are going to start their second round in about 50 seconds from now. You guys also need to do 4 more rounds. Keep counting the burpees. Be strict on the wall sit. Good luck and see you guys later.